In today's assignment, we're going to look at making sure that our story always starts at the same place. If I have a book, when I open it up, I've learned that I always start at the first page. And I keep going, turning left to right, reading left to right, turning pages, starting at the front, going to the back. In a Scratch project, it's not quite as simple. The program will only do exactly what we tell it to do. So we have to tell it, what do we want to have at the very beginning of our story? So after I have my project open, and hopefully you've been using these assignments to work on creating the storytelling project that will eventually need to be turned in. That's how I've been demonstrating this. It's all the same project. So I'm going to click on See Inside. And the last thing we did was add some animation. And so it's nowhere near where I want it to start. So the first thing I need to do is I need to let it know what background I want at the beginning. Now, I do not have to be on a background to do that. I can be on any character, any of the sprites, any place. What I need to do is go to the events section, and I'm going to bring over a when green flag clicked. Now, backgrounds are something I see, so I'm going to go into the look section, and I'm going to tell it to switch the backdrop, and I'm going to click on the down arrow, and I see all the backdrops that I've added. I'm going to have them start on the boardwalk. So I'm going to tell it I want to switch to the boardwalk. So when I click the green flag, it switches and it's the boardwalk. Now I have another problem because the octopus is showing in the air on the boardwalk, and I don't want the octopus there. So originally we looked at having characters show or hide here, but I'm going to program this into my um, my program. I'm going to code it so I know what characters need to be there and what characters do not need to be there at the beginning of the story. So I'm going to just move this out of the way over here a little bit. I'm going to, I wanted Abby and Dee to show at the beginning. So I'm going to bring over a when green flag clicked, and I'm going to tell it to make them appear. So to show. So again, that affects how something looks. So I click on the looks button. I'm going to scroll down a little bit. Here's the block called show. When I click the green flag, Abby shows and her dialogue starts that I added. So I believe that is where I wanted Abby to be, but I may have Abby move. So I'm going to say, this is where I want Abby to be. I'm going to click on the motion, and I'm going to say go to and XY. As long as I have her where I want her on my backdrop, it will automatically change the X and the Y position for me. So now I'm going to do the same thing for D. I'm going to bring over a when green flag clicked, go to the looks, and find the show. And I'm again going to say where I want him to go so that if I make him move, I put him right where I want him. Their conversation started immediately because I had already had that to start when the green flag is clicked. Now, I have a lot of other sprites in mind that I don't want to show. Oh, I need to have the food truck show. So I'm going to go to the food truck, and I'm going to say when green flag clicked, show, and where it's at is fine. So I'm just going to say go to I may have it drive off at the end. Okay, so I also added a bird. So I'm going to add that to come back. Now in this one, when we originally programmed it, I had it so that it was when space key pressed. I'm just going to make that part go away. I'm going to bring over a when green flag clicked. I'm going to have it show. And in just a moment, I'm going to have it come over here. I want it to start there. As long as I put it where I want it first, when I go to the motion and go to the go to XY, it will show that. And then I programmed it last time to make it fly. So I'm going to put that in there and we're going to go ahead and start. And you'll see how it goes here. And it's flying back. I might have to do a little something with it because right now it's flying in front of him and I don't want that to happen. But when I click the green flag, notice the bird automatically goes back to where I started it. All right. So every time I click the green flag, it goes back and starts there. All right. Before I get back to fixing the bird, I am going to make some things disappear. So there are lots of things that I do not want to show when the green flag is clicked. So to make them hide, I'm going to put when green flag clicked. And I'm going to go back to the looks and say hide. And I'm going to do this for all the rest of my sprites because that way, after they come out for something else, I don't have to worry about when the green flag is clicked that they're going to hide. Now, I have a lot of sprites, and it wasn't a lot to program that to make it hide, but I'm going to show you an easy way to copy from one thing to the other. So if I click on what I want to copy and drag it down here, notice how it gives a little shake. If I let go of it, it brought it and it copied it down here. Okay, so I'm going to do that on all of my other ones, and that saves me from having to go in and program them all. If I have a more complex code, that makes it even easier. Okay, the other two are there. See, I missed. I have Avery walking. I was going to add her too, so I'm going to bring out a when green flag clicked, and I'm going to say to show. She is already clear off the stage. I think I'm going to have her walk across this way, so I'm going to do a couple things. She's just a tiny bit big. Maybe not that small. Go. She's more their size now. I want her to turn around. So I'm going to click on her costumes. I'm going to select her whole. I just dragged and grabbed the whole part of her. And then I'm going to flip her horizontally so she turns that way. And I need to do that with all of her costumes because they are all part of her walking. And I'm going to make her go the other direction. Okay, so I'm going to start her right here. So I'm going to go back to my code and I'm going to tell it where I want her to start. So I'm going to say go to X. All right. Then I am going to bring this over here, and I'm probably going to end up changing this so that she walks all the way across. Might have, I'm going to try 30. And then I want her to hide after she goes across because I want it to look like she walks off the edge of the background. So I'm going to put a hide at the bottom here. Give it a try. Whoop. And she's going the wrong direction. So I'm going to have her. We're going to try something different. Instead of having her move steps, because that's making her go backwards, I'm going to change X, which is the horizontal, and I'm going to change it by -10. So that should make her make 10 steps across the page the way I want her to go. Give it a try. There we go. Now she's moving in the right direction. She needed to go a little farther before she did that, so I'm going to have it repeat 40 times. I think her steps are a little bit slow, so I'm going to change that to a 0.3. Give the green flag a click. Everybody goes back to where they need to start. Okay, I'm going to make her take, we're going to repeat it 42 times. That should get across. Now, I noticed that she walked in front of these two characters, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to go back up here. I'm going to click on Abby, and I am going to go to Looks. And I'm going to tell her to bring her to the front. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing on D. Say bring to the front layer. I don't even have to bring it over. I'm just clicking on it over here. Now I'm going to try the green flag, and she should walk behind them this time. So let's see if that happens. There we go. Now she's walking behind them instead of in front of them. She gets all the way across and she disappears. So I like how that looks. So I'd say she's good. My bird, I still need to look at and see how I can fix that. But we'll come back to that in a little bit. Okay, so I have let it know what background I need to have at the beginning. I've let my program know what characters I want to be showing at the beginning, what characters I want to be hiding at the beginning. So that it doesn't matter where anybody stops the program. The next time somebody clicks the green flag, it goes back to the beginning that I want. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to add some directions to the story. So I'm going to click on the C project page, and I'm going to worry about the instructions right now. It says tell people how to use your project, what keys they need to press, and things like that. So right now, all I'm going to ask you to do is tell a little bit about the story that you're telling, and then what somebody needs to do to use your story. Now this may change because the next lesson we're going to have is about how to make your story interactive, and then the person that's using your story will have some options as to what they want to do, and so your directions might need to change. But I'm going to start here with just a little bit of instructions, a little background about my story. So I'm going to say, Abby and Dee are on a vacation in, I'm going to say Florida, and decide to go scuba diving. Click on the green flag to see the adventure that they had. Okay? It can be as simple as that. So I've kind of given them some direction and I've told them all they need to do is click on the green flag to start. Once I make it interactive, I might have to tell them to answer questions or make a choice in what they want to happen in the story. But this is how I add directions. So both of these things are part of your storytelling project and things that you need to be able to do. You need to be able to have it reset for a user so that it always starts the same. No matter where I click on the red stop sign, if I click on the green flag, it starts back at the beginning. Okay. The other thing is adding those directions. They don't have to be very detailed right now. Okay. But there need to be some directions in there. So that is the assignment for today. When we meet together on Wednesday, we're going to look at how to make the story interactive.